Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be showing you how you can make reference points move with particular objects. And I will show you a couple different tricks that you can use with that, as well as kind of the thing to avoid. And we'll get started right away. So first things first, when you do reference points normally, again I'm going to press Control Insert and go ahead and click on the map. We get a little thing that looks like this. And as you probably know, once you put them down in the world, they chill in the world. But the reality is you can actually make them so that they move. And to do that, all we're going to do is come up here where it says Missions and Reference Points. And what you're going to see here is there's a couple different options. One of them, of course, you'll see make selected reference point relative fixed bearing to, make selected ref point relative rotating bearing to. Now, let me show you the difference here. So if I click on this one here and I go ahead and click on my unit, which happens to be a Tupolev 142, you'll notice it says the letter F now, gives me the name, and then tells me who it's attached to. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and order my Tupolev here to move to the right. And what you'll observe here is as he's moving to the right, that is remaining in exactly the same position no matter what he does. So let's go ahead and reload our scenario here real quick. We name it the same thing every time just for simplicity on my part. And that looks pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and do that again. So I'm going to press Control Insert. I'm going to go ahead and click another time, but this time I'm going to go up and I'm going to select Make Selected Reference Points Rotating Bearing. I'll go ahead and click on my Tupolev here. I'll go ahead and order him to do his little power square. And now if I double click and let it go, you will notice that this now moves with my Tupolev here. So if I send this shooting up here, you can see that it sort of hangs out there just like that. Now you're sitting here going, that's actually pretty useful. I like that. Does it have to be, does it have to be a single point? Are you allowed to do multiple points? The answer is, yeah, you can. So that's one of the cool things here. And I'll go ahead and show you where the real power in this is. So let's go ahead and create a zone this time. I'm going to press Control right click. I'm going to go ahead and define myself a new area. I'm just going to pop it right here like this. I'm going to press yes. Now watch this. I'll give it a name. Tupolev Look Zone. Look Zone. I don't know. I keep it pretty simple here. So now if I come up here and do reference points rotating bearing, again, I now have a zone that not only moves, but it will move. Let me pause for a second here. Go like this. Give myself a little square. You will see that that now moves based on the current facing that I have. And the actual shape here, I'll go ahead and deselect it so you can see it a little bit better. You can literally watch the shape whip around. So we actually kind of have like sort of like a death zone. Now, what you're probably sitting here going is, that's actually pretty darn useful. If I were doing something like having like a submarine and I needed to create an area that kind of has somebody looking ahead of it, you could definitely do something like that. And actually, this is a very popular method to create sort of almost sanitization areas to make sure there's no subs ahead of a convoy or something. Now, there's something else we can do, which is really, really fun with this. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and reset our scenario again here. Again, nothing wrong with doing that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reacquire that target I saw a few moments ago. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to create myself another one of those waypoints, reference points, make it to a rotating bearing, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Skunk 1. That means if Skunk 1 moves, guess what else moves? That reference point will move with our skunk. So if I speed up time, you can actually see the reference point moving. Now you're sitting here going, oh, I see what you did there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and create myself a mission. Control F11. I'm going to say spy on boat, because obviously we're dealing with a boat here. So if I come in here and set this to support mission, press okie doke. All I'm going to do is I'm going to add my bear to this mission. It's going to scream at me and say, I can't find it. Are you sure that's something you want to do? Yeah, just relax. It's fine. It's no big deal. And I'll make sure he has active emissions. I'm going to go over here and make sure he's active emissions because I do want him using his radar during this time. So what's going to happen now is he is, of course, going to change his position. He's going to go rush over to that new point that I've created. Now, if I go up to my missions page real quick here and go up to, let's see here, missions and contacts, mission editor, and I come into here, I just want to confirm that I did add that waypoint to it because sometimes I forget to do that. Mission settings, support, non-aircraft settings. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's exactly the one that we wanted to have there. Now, what you'll observe here is our Tupolev is racing over to that reference points, and you can see he got to the reference zone, and he flipped his radar on as soon as he got there. Now, watch this. You'll see here that my target is just ripping along, but that reference point is remaining with that particular turret. Or target, I should say, not turret. Well, it could have a turret too, but that's not what we're locked onto. And you can see that we'll basically hang out with this guy the entire time. Now, where things get cool here is if we were to switch teams real fast and grab this one and go ahead and say, let's do a turn to port here. Since we're not in fixed mode, watch what happens to this reference point. It's going to go shooting way over there. And then, of course, our Tupolev is going to shut his radar off. He's going to run over there like an idiot, and then turn his radar back on when we get to the new position. So this is actually a good time to go ahead and set it to fixed. So if I were to go back up here, for example, and actually set this to fixed mode, this is going to change it so that it stays there no matter what the FIG does here. So if I grab this guy again and order him to go straight south, let's go ahead and open that back to the other side real quick. You will actually see, because we set it fixed, even though he's changing course, my Tupolev 142 does a beautiful job of chilling right there in a nice safe spot far away from its range. Of course, if I mark this as hostile, it doesn't matter. We have to know what kind of target it is. One of these days, they'll give us the ability to right click and identify contact, so we can like temporarily identify it so we can get the range rings. But that, something, I don't know, we'll see that in Command 3 or something like that. But as you can see, these rotating reference points are darn useful, and you can create dynamic zones around things. Like I want a cap over here, and I want anti-submarine over here, and you can have them all fire all around the big aircraft carrier in the middle. The other thing you could do too is do that with a whole group, so it's like following the whole group. Enjoy.